Hey everyone, this is Michael again, and welcome to the Monday Night Raw review. Monday Night Raw tonight was from the Crypto Arena in Los Angeles, California. This was the Monday Night Raw after WrestleMania, of course, which night 2 was last night. But if you guys haven't checked out my previous video, go click on the live section on my channel. I did a watch along and live reactions to night 2 of WrestleMania last night, so check that out. If you guys haven't seen it, and if you did check it out while I was live, thank you all for watching. And I also did my thoughts on night 1 of WrestleMania, so check out that if you guys haven't seen it. But I thought night 1 was a lot better than night 2. Night 2, thinking about it, there was a lot of Vince McMahon things that were on night 2. It felt like a Vince McMahon booked show. Night 1, felt more of a Triple H booked show. But overall, WrestleMania this year, I gotta say, it was a very good show. It was a good WrestleMania this year. Now, going into Monday Night Raw tonight, Raw after WrestleMania hasn't been good since 2017. And to sum up this Monday Night Raw, I'll sum it up with this. Yeah, Monday Night Raw started out, with Triple H delivering an announcement, and then we had Cody Rhodes, Roman Reigns end up coming out, and then after that, this is how the show went. Yeah, that's basically to sum up Monday Night Raw tonight. This show was fucking awful. Absolutely terrible. This was one of the worst Monday Night Raws after WrestleMania. And before I get into the review, news ended up breaking out today. Apparently, WWE ended up selling to Endeavor, which WWE and UFC are going to merge. This news came out today. It was initially reported by CNBC on Sunday, but it was made official today. And I'm going to share with you all the article here. So this is coming from WrestlingInc.com. So here is the article here. Here's the news coming from WrestlingInc.com here. WWE sells to Endeavor, announces merger with UFC. After being initially reported by CNBC on Sunday, it has now been made official. WWE has been purchased by Ari Emanuel's Endeavor Group and will join with UFC to form a new publicly traded company, holding a supposed collective value of more than $21 billion. Former WWE CEO Vince McMahon, who rejoined the company's board of directors as executive chairman in January, reportedly to help facilitate a sale called The Move, the best outcome for our shareholders and other stakeholders. So yeah, that's not the reason why Vince, came back to the company. Vince, they say, oh, Vince came back just for the sale. No. So, says right here by Vince, together we will be a $21 billion live sports and entertainment powerhouse with a collective fan base of more than 1 billion people and an exciting growth opportunity. I, along with the current WWE management team, look forward to working closely with Ari and the Endeavor and UFC teams to take the business to the next level. Under the terms of the acquisition, McMahon will continue to serve as executive chairman of the board, while Emanuel will lead the company as CEO and Mark Shapiro will be president and COO of both Endeavor and the new company. Dana White and Nick Khan are set to maintain their respective roles as president of USC and president of WWE. So Manuel ended up saying this is a rare opportunity to create a global live sports and entertainment per play built for where the industry is headed. Manuel said, for decades, Vince and his team have demonstrated an incredible track record of innovation and shareholder value creation. And we are confident that Endeavor can deliver significant additional value for shareholders by bringing UFC and WWE together. Oh, so what are they going to do? Is there going to be a UFC crossover with WWE programming in the future? Yeah, that's just what we need. So it says, as previously reported, the deal sees Endeavor take ownership of 51% of WWE, while the company's existing shareholders retain 49%. The new company will list on the New York Stock Exchange under the ticker symbol TKO. The transaction values WWE at $9.3 billion, which was McMahon's reported asking price back in February. Through WWE stock is down in pre-market trading, indicating that investors disagree with the valuation, and comes the day after the conclusion of WrestleMania 39. So Ari Emanuel still wants Vince McMahon here. McMahon says right here, continue to serve as executive chairman of the board, which that is a terrible, terrible decision. And here's another article right here that I want to show. Vince McMahon on whether he will be involved in creative going forward. So it says, since Vince McMahon came out of retirement and returned to WWE as executive chairman on a 2-year employment contract earlier this year, he weaseled his way back into the company to serve as executive chairman, and also now is the chairman of the board, the executive chairman of the board. So it says, fans have wondered if the 77-year-old has been involved with WWE creative. Although that answer is currently unknown, McMahon will have some say moving forward. Oh, please. That answer, they say right here, is currently unknown. Yes, he is a part of creative. We saw last night at WrestleMania. Night 2 of WrestleMania looked very much like a Vince McMahon booked show. So it says right here, following the organization's sale to Ari Emanuel's Endeavor Group Holdings Incorporated, McMahon revealed to CNBC that he would, yes and no, be involved in the company's creative process. He explained that he would participate at a higher level but would not be in the weeds like in the past. So that means he will take part in creative. So he will be there, he won't be there. But his fingerprints will be all over, given the people in creative, or even, Triple H what to do. So it says also during the interview alongside Ari Emanuel, McMahon was asked whether his Mr. McMahon character would ever make a return to WWE programming. He expressed that the persona was dead and that he would not get back in the ring. McMahon relinquished his executive positions and role as head of creative with WWE last summer. When he retired, he so-called retired amid several sexual misconduct allegations. Following his exit from the Stanford-based organization, the longtime wrestling promoter's son-in-law, Triple H, Paul Triple H Levesque, became chief content officer. McMahon reinstated himself to the promotions board in January to assist with a sale and upcoming media rights negotiations. Yeah, okay. You know what I'm saying? That said that he was sat in Gorilla, the production area behind where superstars make their entrances, throughout the March 6th episode of Raw, but had no involvement with that night's broadcast. You could tell that he was probably giving suggestions on that Monday Night Raw. So McMahon was in Los Angeles for WrestleMania 39 and was spotted backstage at the Hall of Fame ceremony last Friday night. McMahon was, of course, like I saw on the video where he was explaining, he had a mustache. So that's a new thing for Vince there. But yeah, just wanted to get out this news here. WWE selling to Endeavor. A merger between WWE and UFC. And there's another news that I wanted to share with you guys. And this came from Twitter. So I'm going to show this. Okay, this is coming from That's Freaking Wrestling Podcast Twitter account. And I guess they were at Raw tonight. And they tweeted out, "I'm sitting right behind production. And they've legit received 3 run sheets. 3 in the last 45 minutes. 2 since the show has started." And Sean Ross Sapp of Fightful said down here, "This show is categorically different than how it was laid out even a few hours ago, and at least 2 matches scrapped or changed." And you mean to tell me that this is Triple H's booking of Monday Night Raw tonight? No. This is how Monday Night Raw was when Vince and his team were behind running everything. This is Vince's administration and how it originally was. Because no way does Triple H and his administration do this. This is all Vince McMahon. So we're going right back to where we were in July before Vince so-called retired and Triple H took over. No, this is all Vince McMahon. Tonight's Monday Night Raw was a Vince McMahon booked show. His fingerprints were all over the show tonight. So I wanted to get this out there, and show you all. Yeah, I just wanted to get that news out. It was a very newsworthy day in the world of professional wrestling. But on to Monday Night Raw tonight. This is the card that we got for this horrible Raw after WrestleMania. Omas versus Elias. Austin Theory versus Rey Mysterio. Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn took on the Street Profits. We have Bobby Lashley versus Mustafa Ali. Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez versus Dakota Kai and Io Sky. And the winners get a shot at the Women's Tag Team Championship. And pretty much, that was Monday Night Raw. But overall, this was a horrible Raw after Mania. There was no call-ups from NXT, and we only had 1 return tonight. But let's get on with the review. Monday Night Raw opened up tonight with Triple H. Triple H ended up making his way out, got a huge ovation from the crowd. Yeah, Triple H, in charge of creative, not after tonight, and not after this whole sale of WWE to Endeavor, where they're going to be merging with UFC. So Triple H made his way down to the ring. He got on the mic, and he welcomed everyone to Monday Night Raw. He ended up saying that if he wasn't already on a high from this weekend, he sure is now. Triple H ended up saying that it was quite the weekend. 161,000 fans jam-packed into SoFi Stadium. 80,000 for both nights. And he ended up saying that WrestleMania was an event 40 years in the making. From one man's vision for WrestleMania at Madison Square Garden to 4 decades later in Los Angeles at SoFi Stadium, packed to the rafters and beyond his wildest expectations. So Triple H was out there and he ended up saying thank you. Triple H ended up thanking every superstar in the back, every performer that had ever come through the ropes and graced the ring. He ended up saying that they lay their bodies on the line every week. So Triple H also took a moment to say thank you to all the staff and crew that make an event like WrestleMania possible, and even Monday Night Raw possible. So he ended up thanking every member of the crew, including the cameraman, whose name was Stu. So Triple H ended up thanking Stu. The crowd started chanting for Stu, and Stu ended up waving back. You saw his hand in the camera. So Triple H ended up saying, the people behind the scenes make this possible. He ended up saying that he walked into SoFi Stadium. No matter how many times he has seen the drawings and photos of it being built, when he actually saw that set, when he actually saw the WrestleMania set, it took his breath away. And I say, that set looked absolutely amazing. Really liked the set. One of my favorite WrestleMania sets, but WrestleMania 33 will always be, in my opinion, the best WrestleMania set. Just loved how the way it looked and how the way, it was put together. So Triple H ended up saying that they make the spectacle of what they do possible. He ended up saying that he wants to take one more moment to thank the most important people, and that is the WWE Universe. He ended up saying that the fans are the people that make it possible for them to do what they do day in and day out. So Triple H then thanked the fans. He ended up saying, on the day when WWE is dominating the news and social media, the day after WrestleMania, when they are water cooler talk and all anyone wants to talk about. He ended up saying that WWE makes an announcement that is all everyone wants to talk about. Triple H then said, I am here to assure you that we ain't going nowhere. And it's the same WWE that you love. The same WWE that put 161,000 people to the rafters in SoFi Stadium is going nowhere. And it's the same WWE that you love. The superstars, the action, the drama, all of it. We are going nowhere. Triple H then ended up saying that we will be here week in and week out, event after event, sold out arena after sold out arena, packed stadium after packed stadium, because we are the WWE. And Triple H ended up saying, just like it says in the beginning, then, now, forever, together. So Triple H ended up giving a good ovation, and Triple H then ended up wanting to ask for one thing. And Triple H didn't go, are you ready? He didn't do that. He ended up saying, please help him acknowledge one more person. The guy who has been champion for 946 days. So the crowd already started to boo because they already know that Roman was going to come out, the tribal chief. So then Triple H ended up introducing the undisputed WWE Universal Champion, the guy who beat Cody Rhodes last night to retain the title, the tribal chief, Roman Reigns. So pretty much, that was what Triple H had to say. But I gotta say, when Triple H went out there and delivered this announcement, it felt like this was just done to pop a rating. And it was also done, for Triple H, when he's saying thank you, he's thanking every superstar in the back, every performer that has come into the ring. He's thanking every member of the crew and the people behind the scenes and the fans. It felt like, this was a farewell for Triple H being in creative because, with Vince back and the company, merging with the UFC, Endeavor, and Vince is still going to be on board and, he's going to be in creative where Vince, in the article, like I described, said, oh, yes and no. But Vince is obviously going to be back in creative. His fingerprints are going to be on everything. So this was, Triple H saying thank you because he probably already knows Vince is going to kick him out of creative. And Vince is going to be back there calling the shots, and just, making the shows terrible as they were before he so-called retired. So I feel like this was Triple H saying thank you, and to the fans and everybody, thank you for liking what I've done to the shows and changing it up. Because if you watch the Monday Night Raws after SummerSlam, going into September, going into October, when Triple H, was in creative, you could tell the difference of the shows. The shows felt a lot fresher, a lot different. Matches went 15 minutes, 15, 20 minutes. So, and then you watch tonight's Raw, and you're like, what the fuck? So, big difference from what we saw back in September and October with those Monday Night Raws. You watch those, you're like, oh, these were pretty good, these were decent. And then you watch tonight's Raw, you're like, what the fuck happened? You tell there was a Vince McMahon booked show tonight. His fingerprints were all over this fucking show. So, Roman Reigns came out, made his way to the ring. He shook hands with Triple H. We had Paul Heyman and Solo Sikoa standing at Roman's side. So the crowd was loudly booing at Roman. Reigns ended up standing around. He ended up saying nothing. This kind of felt like when Roman Reigns came out on the Monday Night Raw after WrestleMania 33, and he had the mic in hand, and the crowd was just booing the hell out of him because he defeated The Undertaker. And, when Roman ended up raising the mic, the crowd just booed the hell out of him. This is what it felt like. This was memories of the Monday Night Raw after WrestleMania 33, with Roman starting the show there. So we had a chant of Roman sucks end up picking up. Just like, when Roman came out, on the Monday Night Raw after WrestleMania 33. So we had Reigns end up getting on the mic. He ended up saying, I guess after last night's performance, we should probably do it like this tonight. So Reigns ended up saying, Hollywood, acknowledge me. So then Cody Rhodes ended up coming out. Cody Rhodes made his way down to the ring, got a big ovation from the crowd. So Rhodes got into the ring. He stared at Roman. We had a Cody chant end up picking up. Rhodes ended up getting on the mic. He ended up saying that he knows what he wants to talk about. He ended up saying today has turned out a lot differently for him than he anticipated. Rhodes ended up saying that he thought he would be standing here as the undisputed WWE Universal Champion. So Rhodes ended up saying he will acknowledge this. Last night in the main event of WrestleMania 33, he ended up saying that Reigns was the better competitor. So Reigns then smirked at Cody. Rhodes ended up saying, we always have to do this with the world watching. He ended up saying he wishes the interference wasn't a factor. Rhodes ended up saying that he knows that Reigns knows he has won matches that he narrowly skated by. He ended up saying last night wasn't the case. And last night, he had Roman. Reigns ended up shaking his head. So Rhodes ended up saying that he knew what he wanted to talk about. And it boils down to just one word. And that one word was rematch. So Cody wanted a rematch with Roman Reigns. Paul Heyman then ended up coming up to Reigns, ended up asking for the mic. Reigns gave the mic to Paul Heyman, the wise man. Paul Heyman ended up saying that he was thinking, on behalf of the tribal chief, when exactly would Cody like this hypothetical rematch? Cody ended up laughing. He then ended up saying that he wants the rematch tonight. So the crowd ended up popping for that. Reigns sneered and looked at Cody, to which Paul Heyman ended up saying to Cody, "No rematch." Paul Heyman ended up saying that the rematch will not be happening tonight, not in Puerto Rico, not at SummerSlam, not at Survivor Series, not at the Royal Rumble, not even at Madison Square Garden, and not in San Francisco, where life does exist in California. So the crowd booed at that. And Paul Heyman ended up saying, that's called calling the shots, because you live on the island of relevancy. So Cody then ended up asking Mr. Heyman if he thinks he's in a normal mood for the games and chicanery. He ended up saying, after everything he went through in his entire career for last night to happen to him. Cody then ended up saying that it's time to cut to the chase, and that Reigns doesn't want to do the rematch and give the people what they want. He ended up saying since he had to face all of them anyway, Cody then ended up suggesting a tag team match so that they can do something. Paul Heyman then consulted with Roman. Paul Heyman then ended up saying the challenge has been accepted and that there are 2 perimeters. He ended up saying to Cody that those 2 perimeters are if someone is stupid enough in the locker room to team with him, that they have to have competed at WrestleMania. And also, if they lose to both Reigns and Sikoa, they can never compete for the undisputed WWE Universal Championship as long as Reigns holds the title. So then Brock Lesnar's music ended up hitting. Brock Lesnar came out, got a big ovation from the crowd. So we had Lesnar end up getting into the ring. He shook hands with Cody. Reigns looked disgusted, and he left the ring. Lesnar and Cody end up celebrating the ring. And of course, Lesnar is already banned from going for the undisputed WWE Universal Championship since he lost to Reigns at SummerSlam, last year. So pretty much that was basically that. But again, they made this for Lesnar and Roman. You can already tell, Vince is back. But overall, this was just very meh, in my opinion. Cody's going to get his rematch. And then we went from that to the first match of the night, which was Omos versus Elias. God damn. This is not a good way to open the show. This is absolutely fucking terrible. Omos coming off of, his match with Brock Lesnar last night, to which Brock Lesnar ended up winning, which that match was fucking awful. It was awful of that match opening night 2 of WrestleMania last night. So pretty much Omos beat it down on Elias. Omos ended up tree slamming Elias for the win, and there you go. Omos ended up winning the match. Moving on. So then we went backstage. Jimmy and Jay were walking backstage. Both Jimmy and Jay knocked on the Tribal Chief's door. Paul Heyman came out of the room and he greeted both the Usos, Jimmy and Jay. So both of them ended up saying that they want to talk to Roman. But Paul Heyman ended up saying that he stepped out with Sikoa and that they're strategizing about Brock Lesnar and Cody Rhodes. Paul Heyman ended up saying that Reigns wants them to know that the weekend was good for some. Paul Heyman then ended up saying that the jet is fired up and there is fresh seafood. The Usos then end up patting Paul Heyman on his shoulder and they end up walking off. And Paul Heyman re-entered the locker room, and all we heard from Paul Heyman end up saying was, "I took care of it." So Paul Heyman ended up sending the Usos out of the arena and into the jet. Pretty much that was that. And during this whole first hour, the show was commercial free. There was no commercials during this first hour of Monday Night Raw. So we had a 2-3 minute match with Omas and Elias there. And pretty much this whole first hour was just 80%, or I should say 90% of segments. That was pretty much it. So Kathy Kelly was at ringside, and she was with Bad Bunny. Kathy Kelly ended up asking about WWE coming back to Puerto Rico to Bad Bunny. Bad Bunny ended up greeting LA, ended up saying that he is excited WWE is coming back to his backyard in Puerto Rico, and that he is grateful. So of course, Bad Bunny going to be the host of Backlash in Puerto Rico next month. And then we have Rey Mysterio. Rey Mysterio made his way down to the ring. He was high-fiving the fans, and he ended up hugging Bad Bunny, to which Bad Bunny ended up assisting Rey in his match against Dominic at WrestleMania on Saturday, where Dominic ended up reaching for the chain that was in Damian Priest's coat. Bad Bunny ended up snatching the chain from Dom, which led to Rey win the match, defeating his son. So Rey ended up getting on the mic. He ended up saying that it was an emotional week and that he just got inducted into the Hall of Fame. So the crowd started chanting, "You deserve it," to which Rey ended up thanking the fans for the chant. Rey then ended up saying that he wanted to take some time to thank the WWE Universe for welcoming him with open arms. So Rey ended up thanking the fans, and then he thanked Bad Bunny, who was sitting at ringside. So then Austin Theory ended up coming out. Austin Theory ended up interrupting Rey. Austin Theory coming off his win, retaining the United States Championship against John Cena at WrestleMania on Saturday, which opened night one. So Theory got on the mic. He ended up saying that he and Rey deserve some respect. They both said that they would do exactly what they did at WrestleMania. He ended up saying that Rey beat the product of his own bad parenting, and that Theory himself ended up being a legend, the greatest of all time, in John Cena. He ended up saying while Rey is too busy trying to correct the past, and Theory was then cut off by a "You tapped out" chant from the crowd. So Theory ended up saying they tapped out because they didn't believe in him. So Theory got into the ring, and he ended up saying that Rey's son didn't believe in him, and the people didn't believe in himself, in Austin Theory. So Theory ended up saying that was what Cena was talking about with the Raw after WrestleMania, where the people were supposed to eat him alive. So Theory was like, where is it? Theory ended up saying that he is on top of the world and can't be touched. Theory ended up saying that he doesn't suck because the crowd was chanting, "You still suck" to him. So he ended up saying that he doesn't suck because he ended up beating John Cena. So then the crowd started chanting for Cena. Theory ended up saying that Cena isn't here and is a part-timer, and that Rey is just like Cena, a part-timer. So he ended up saying that they should be chanting his name at the top of their lungs. And all that is going to happen is that he is going to beat Rey and add him to the collection. To which Rey ended up saying to Theory that the only thing that he will be collecting is his teeth after he hits him with the 619. So a referee got into the ring. The match got official. So we had Rey Mysterio versus Austin Theory, which was a decent match. So both guys ended up locking up. Theory ended up powering Rey into the corner. Theory ended up hooking a side headlock on Rey, but Rey ended up whipping Theory off. Theory then delivered a shoulder tackle to Rey, and then Monday Night Raw went to commercial, which they had the picture-in-picture, commercials break tonight. So then as Monday Night Raw came back from the commercial, Rey was in a chin lock that was locked in by Theory. Rey ended up fighting up, but Theory ended up kneeing Rey, ended up sending him shoulder first into the ring post. Theory ended up putting Rey on the top rope, but Rey fought Theory off. Rey then connected with a crossbody block, and Theory ended up kicking out too. So Theory ended up clubbing Rey's back, ended up hitting a snapmare. Theory then applied an armbar, to which Mysterio ended up fighting out of it. Theory then quickly knocked Rey back. Theory whipped Rey into the opposite corner, and Rey quickly slingshotted onto Theory, ended up hitting him with a tornado DDT. So we had later on Theory ended up quickly punching Rey, ended up going for a superplex. So Rey ended up fighting Theory off, ended up hitting a flying seated senton, and Rey followed up with a springboard crossbody block, to which he got a near fall. Rey ended up going to the second rope, started doing the 10 punches to Theory, to which Theory stumbled away, dropped to his knee. Rey ended up shoving Theory into the corner, did the 10 punches again to Theory. Theory ended up getting out, ended up clubbing Rey's back. Theory then put Rey in the torture rack, ended up hitting a rack bomb on Rey, to which Theory got a near fall. So we had Rey end up kicking Theory in the head. He ended up hitting a head scissors to Theory into the ropes. Rey then hit the ropes for a 619, but Theory countered that and ended up hitting a massive lariat on Rey, to which Theory ended up going for the cover, and Rey kicked out. Theory got a near fall. So Theory ended up going to the apron for a Rolling Thunder drop kick, but Rey countered that with a Hurricanrana, which was cool. And then all of a sudden, Dominic Mysterio jumped on the ring apron. Rey then punched Dom off the apron, and he went for the 619 on Theory. Theory then caught Rey, ended up hitting the A-Town down on Rey. Theory ended up going for the cover, and there you go. Austin Theory ended up winning the match. Post-match, Damian Priest ended up telling Dom to get into the ring. So Dom got into the ring, started punching away at his father, to which the crowd was booing loudly at Dom. Dom then pointed at Bad Bunny. Dom got in Bad Bunny's face. Bad Bunny ended up saying to Dom that he was just doing the right thing. So Dom turned away. He then ended up going for a cheap shot to Bad Bunny, but Bad Bunny blocked Dom's cheap shot, and he punched Dominic down. Damian Priest came over to Bad Bunny. He grabbed him, and he ripped Bad Bunny over the barricade. Priest ended up saying that he didn't need to get involved. Bad Bunny got to his feet, and he had turned to punch Dom again, but Damian Priest ended up wiping out Bad Bunny with a right hand. Priest then cleared off the commentary table and brought Bad Bunny over there. Priest then ended up delivering a choke slam to Bad Bunny, which Bad Bunny ended up going through the commentary table, which was crazy. That was a good sell by Bad Bunny there. So Dom got into the ring. He went back to punching away at his father, at Rey. And then Dom ended up walking off with Damian Priest. Rey then ended up running over and checked on Bad Bunny. Medical personnel ran over to check on Bad Bunny as well. And pretty much that was basically that. But this is setting up for a tag team match at a point at Backlash with Rey and Bad Bunny teaming up to take on Damian Priest and Dominic. That's going to probably happen at Backlash, considering that Bad Bunny is the host of Backlash. And looks like that Bad Bunny is not only going to be the host of Backlash, but he's going to be competing at Backlash. But that was a nasty bump that Bad Bunny took from that choke slam from Damian Priest through the commentary table. But overall, it was a decent match between Austin Theory and Rey Mysterio. And as Monday Night Raw came back from the commercial, Adam Pearce was with Damian Priest backstage. Adam Pearce was admonishing Damian Priest about what he just did to Bad Bunny. Priest ended up asking if Adam Pearce had the same energy when Bad Bunny got involved in the match at WrestleMania against Rey and Dom, or when he threw a punch at Dominic. He ended up saying that if Bad Bunny weren't his friend, it would have been a lot worse. So pretty much that was basically that. And then we had Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, the new undisputed WWE Tag Team Champions. They made their way out to the ring. They got a big ovation from the crowd. And of course, they ended the 623-day reign of the Usos in the main event of night 1 of WrestleMania on Saturday, which was a great moment, you know, when Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn winning the titles. So we had the crowd end up chanting, "You deserve it," to both Owens and Zayn. Kevin Owens ended up saying that they do deserve it, but so does the crowd. So the crowd started to sing, "Ole, ole, 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 ole." So Sami Zayn ended up saying that it's been a pretty crazy year for him. From last year's WrestleMania against Johnny Knoxville all the way to the main event of WrestleMania right here in LA. Sami Zayn then ended up saying what he's going to say is going to sound corny, but he has to say it. He ended up saying none of this would have happened for him if not for the fans. So Sami Zayn ended up thanking the fans. He then ended up saying that's enough mushy-gushy stuff. And he ended up saying that LA likes to celebrate. Kevin Owens ended up saying that sounds pretty good, and that he hopes Sami Zayn has the same celebration in mind. He ended up saying that there's nothing like a good fight, and there's nothing like being in Los Angeles and fighting your heart out. He ended up saying that a lot of people in the locker room want to make a name for themselves against them as the new undisputed WWE Tag Team Champions. He ended up saying that the best place to do that is right here and right now on the Raw after WrestleMania. So Kevin Owens ended up saying that if anybody wants them, they need to come out. So the Street Profits end up coming out. The Street Profits end up answering the challenge. Montez Ford got on the mic, he greeted Los Angeles, and he put over both Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. Ford ended up saying that this is a marvelous day in the land of LA. So he ended up holding up a red Solo cup. He ended up toasting Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, and that they truly deserve to be the Tag Team Champions. So the Street Profits got into the ring. Dawkins ended up saying that they're also coming off a victory at WrestleMania. And Dawkins ended up challenging Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn to a match. Ford ended up saying that they keep putting out stamps, but no one knows their name. He ended up saying that it's time to make one on the Raw after WrestleMania. So Ford ended up saying that he lives and dies by 4 words. And those 4 words are, "We want the smoke." So pretty much that was that. You know, Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn coming out there, you know, thanking the fans. And as Monday Night Raw came back from the commercial, we had Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn versus the Street Profits, which this was a pretty fun match here. Sami Zayn and Angelo Dawkins started off the match. Both guys ended up locking up. Sami Zayn ended up wrenching Dawkins' arm. He ended up pinning a headlock takeover on Dawkins. Dawkins got out of the headlock. He ended up pinning a headlock takeover his own to Sami Zayn. Sami Zayn fought out of the headlock, ended up pinning an arm drag. Sami Zayn then applied an arm bar, but Dawkins got up from that. Zayn ended up reversing the whip, and Dawkins ended up shoulder blocking Sami Zayn down. Dawkins hit the ropes, but Sami Zayn ended up dropping Dawkins down, leapfrog over Dawkins, and he ended up pinning a pair of arm drags. Sami Zayn then ended up pinning a third arm drag, and he went back to the armbar on Dawkins. Dawkins fought up, but Sami Zayn ended up backing Dawkins into the corner, and tagged in Kevin Owens. Sami Zayn ended up hitting Dawkins with a drop toe hold. Kevin Owens then followed it up with a senton splash. Kevin Owens then ended up hitting a second senton splash onto Dawkins. He ended up going for the cover, to which Dawkins kicked out. Kevin Owens then ended up hitting a third senton splash to Dawkins, and he ended up going for the cover. Dawkins kicked out at 1. Sami Zayn tagged back in, sent Dawkins to the ropes. Montez Ford blind tagged in. Dawkins ended up taking Sami Zayn down, and Ford ended up hitting a slingshot senton, to which he ended up going for the cover, to which Sami Zayn kicked out. So we had Ford ended up kicking Sami Zayn, ended up clubbing Sami Zayn's back. Sami Zayn reversed the whip to the opposite corner and connected with a back body drop to Montez Ford. Owens then tagged in, ended up kicking Montez Ford in his midsection, and then connected with a backbreaker. Owens ended up stretching Montez Ford out of his knee and ended up dropping him down, and Owens ended up going for the cover. Montez Ford kicked out. So Owens ended up ripping at Montez Ford's face and applied a chin lock on him. Ford ended up finding out. He flipped to a back suplex. Kevin Owens ended up quickly kicking at Ford, ended up going for the stunner. Ford ended up getting away and left the ring. So Kevin Owens ended up grabbing Ford, but Montez Ford ended up kicking Owens in his head. Dawkins then tagged in, ended up attacking Owens. Ford tagged back in, and Dawkins ended up whipping Kevin Owens into Ford, and they ended up hitting a drop kick. Ford ended up going to an armbar, and then Monday Night Raw went to commercial. So as Monday Night Raw came back from the commercial, both Kevin Owens and Montez Ford were down. Ford ended up whipping Kevin Owens into the corner. He ended up charging for an avalanche, but Kevin Owens ended up avoiding that. So Sami Zayn tagged in. He came off the top rope with a crossbody block to Montez Ford, to which Sami Zayn ended up going for the cover. Montez Ford kicked out at 2. So at the end of the match, we had Kevin Owens end up hitting a stunner on Montez Ford, and Montez Ford was out on his feet. Sami Zayn ended up taking in. He shoved Montez Ford into the corner. Sami Zayn ended up delivering a haluva kick, a vicious haluva kick to Montez Ford. Sami Zayn ended up going for the cover, and there you go. Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn ended up winning the match. Overall, this was a very fun match between Owens, Sami Zayn, and the Street Profits. You know, good wrestling from these guys here. So, really enjoyed the match. So then we went to Cathy Kelley. Cathy Kelley was backstage with Seth Rollins. Cathy Kelley ended up asking Rollins about beating Logan Paul Saturday at WrestleMania. Rollins ended up telling Cathy Kelley that he is feeling great because he hit the stomp heard around the world. And Rollins ended up saying that he sent Logan Paul and KSI back to the wasteland of social media. So Rollins ended up saying that something is missing tonight. Rollins ended up saying that the party isn't back here, and that it's out there. So Rollins then ended up telling the DJ to play his song. So Seth Rollins made his way out to the ring. The crowd was singing away to his song. And then Monday Night Raw went to commercial. And then when Monday Night Raw came back from the commercial, Seth Rollins ended up conducting the crowd, and they were loudly singing his song. Rollins then smiled and left the ring. So, what the fuck was this? Rollins comes out there, gets the crowd to sing his theme song. He listens to the crowd sing along to his theme, and then he leaves. He leaves the ring. What the fuck? So he just came out there to hear the crowd sing his theme song. Wow. So then Cathy Kelley was backstage with Bobby Lashley. Bobby Lashley won the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal on SmackDown on Friday. So Cathy Kelley ended up asking Lashley about winning the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. Lashley ended up saying to Cat Kelly that it was great to win, but having to go out there at WrestleMania and not fight burnt him up. So Bronson Reed ended up coming up to Bobby Lashley. Bronson Reed, I don't know what they had him dressed in. He was dressed in red with shades on. I'm like, what the fuck? Why'd they have Bronson Reed go out there dressed in a red suit and shades? So he came up to Bobby Lashley. He ended up asking if he can call him Uncle Bobby. Lashley ended up saying that he taught Bronson Reed a lot, like how to lose. So Lashley ended up asking Bronson Reed if he wants a match. Bronson Reed ended up declining a match with Bobby Lashley. So then Mustafa Ali walked up. Mustafa Ali still dressed like a geek. He ended up saying things haven't been going Lashley's way. He ended up saying that Lashley needs to learn how not to take no for an answer. Lashley then ended up saying that Mustafa Ali is telling him that he should just take someone to the ring and maul them. So Lashley then ended up grabbing Mustafa Ali, threw him backstage. Lashley ended up punching Ali into gorilla position, and then he knocked Mustafa Ali into the arena. So Lashley then threw Mustafa Ali down the ramp. Lashley then put Mustafa Ali in the ring. And so then we had a match. Bobby Lashley versus Mustafa Ali. Squash match. Lashley applied the Hurt Lock on Mustafa Ali after he hit Mustafa Ali with a clothesline, which turned Ali inside out. So Lashley applied the Hurt Lock, and there you go. Bobby Lashley ended up winning the match. Moving on. This was a waste of time. But this set up nicely, with Lashley and Bronson Reed. We could see a potential match between Lashley and Bronson Reed, and I'm all in for that. Bronson Reed is just absolutely great in the ring. He's a beast. So we'll like to see that match happen with Lashley and Bronson Reed. So then, after Monday Night Raw came back from the commercial, we saw Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns was sitting backstage. Solo Sikoa was sitting nearby. Reigns ended up asking if his cousins are gone, to which Paul Heyman ended up saying that they were sent to the private jet. Reigns ended up asking if Paul Heyman knew Brock Lesnar would be here, to which Paul Heyman ended up saying that this is usually the time that Lesnar disappears for 6 to 9 months, a life Reigns rescued him from. Paul Heyman ended up saying that he loves him for that. So Reigns ended up asking how this happened. Paul Heyman ended up saying that Reigns' last match against Lesnar was at SummerSlam. That was when, Brock Lesnar got on that forklift and lifted up the ring, which that was a awesome moment. So he ended up saying that Lesnar has nothing to lose by coming out. Reigns ended up saying that smashing Brock Lesnar is one of his greatest career accolades, so he'll do it again. He ended up saying then he'll smash Cody, as he did last night. Then he'll tag in Solo Sikoa and see who is really ready. So pretty much that was basically what Roman had to say. And then we had Bianca Belair, still the Raw Women's Champion. She defeated Asuka last night, and she made her way down to the ring. The crowd started chanting EST to her. Bianca then thanked the fans and put over Asuka for being one of the toughest women she's ever faced. So then she got interrupted by Rhea Ripley. Rhea Ripley, the new SmackDown Women's Champion, defeated Charlotte on night 1, which very happy that Rhea Ripley is the new SmackDown Women's Champion, and thank God she took the title off of Charlotte. Charlotte was doing nothing with the title. So Rhea Ripley made her way down to the ring. She got on the mic. She ended up saying that Bianca walks around here calling herself the EST, but she's the luckiest woman in WWE. She ended up saying after her humongous Royal Rumble victory, she decided to challenge Charlotte instead of Bianca. So Rhea Ripley got into the ring. Rhea Ripley ended up promising that they will get back to this. Rhea Ripley ended up saying that she will beat Bianca, just like she beat Charlotte at WrestleMania. So Bianca ended up asking if she's the luckiest because Rhea Ripley didn't choose her, and that Rhea Ripley made her decision for a reason. So Bianca Belair ended up saying that this is all about getting in the ring with the best, and that includes Rhea. She ended up saying one day, when Rhea Ripley is ready, we'll see who is the best of the best. Rhea Ripley then backed up, and she ended up waving goodbye to Bianca. And pretty much that was basically that. So we'll probably be seeing this sometime. Rhea Ripley versus Bianca Belair. Should be, decent between, them for a match. And then we had Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez versus Dakota Kai and Io Sky. Bayley wasn't there tonight. So the winners of this match will receive a match against the Women's Tag Team Champions. And I'm like, shouldn't Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler get a chance first? So we had Raquel Rodriguez and Dakota Kai starting off the match. The match itself was just meh, in my opinion. So Raquel Rodriguez, Smiley Raquel, got to mention, showing off those pearly whites as she made her way out with Liv Morgan. So Raquel Rodriguez quickly powered Dakota Kai down, countered a scorpion kick into a stretch muffler. Liv Morgan tagged in, forearmed Dakota Kai down. Liv Morgan ended up hitting the ropes, but Dakota Kai ended up following her for a big boot. Liv Morgan quickly ended up coming back with a backstabber, to which Io Sky ended up tagging in, ended up drop kicking Liv Morgan down. Liv Morgan fought back, but Io Sky ended up drop kicking Liv Morgan down. Liv Morgan ended up sending Dakota Kai and Io Sky out of the ring, to which Raquel ended up tagging back in. Raquel then lifted Liv Morgan up, and Raquel then powerbombed Liv Morgan out of the ring onto Dakota Kai and Io Sky. So pretty much, Monday Night Raw went to commercial. It was picture-in-picture, which pretty much all the match here was fought during the commercial break, during picture-in-picture. So then as Monday Night Raw came back from the commercial, Liv Morgan was fighting back at Io Sky, and she ended up hitting a code breaker. Raquel got on the apron and tagged in, as did Dakota Kai. So Raquel then ended up taking Dakota Kai down with some kicks, and then she delivered a fallaway slam. Raquel Rodriguez ended up hitting a slingshot twisting senton on Dakota Kai, and then Io tagged in. Raquel fought off a double team by Dakota Kai and Io Sky. She ended up throwing Sky into Dakota Kai. So then at the end of the match, we had Raquel end up hitting Dakota Kai with the Tejana Bomb, to which Liv Morgan followed up with the Oblivion on Dakota Kai. So there you go. Raquel Rodriguez and Liv Morgan ended up winning the match. So they will face Becky Lynch and Lita next week on Raw for the Women's Tag Team Championships. I mean, shouldn't Shayna Baszler and Ronda Rousey get that first? I mean, they won their match at WrestleMania. They won the Women's Showcase. Shouldn't they be in line to face Becky Lynch and Lita first over Raquel and Liv Morgan? Should be the case. Typical Vince McMahon here. So then as Monday Night Raw came back from the commercial, The Miz was in the ring. The Miz ended up asking the crowd if they enjoyed WrestleMania. He ended up saying all the surprises were for him. Miz ended up saying that he had 3 matches at WrestleMania against 4 people. He ended up saying that he had to fight off George Kittle and Pat McAfee. Then he had to face jumping Shane McMahon, to which Shane ended up injuring himself. So then he ended up saying that the Dogfather of WrestleMania, Snoop Dogg, sucker punched him and hit the worst looking people's elbow. So The Miz ended up saying, surprise, I'm still here, and that he is done with surprises. So then Matt Riddle ended up coming out. Matt Riddle returned to Monday Night Raw tonight. He was off TV for a while. So Riddle ended up coming out, got a big ovation from the crowd. Riddle got into the ring, and he got on the mic. He ended up saying, surprise, did you miss me? To which Miz ended up attacking Riddle from behind, started punching away at Riddle. Miz took off his jacket, and Riddle ended up punching back at the Miz. He ended up hitting a ripcord knee to Miz's face. Riddle then connected with the Bro Derek on the Miz, and he celebrated with the crowd, and that was that. This is what you bring Matt Riddle back? Just him to feud with the Miz. You should have just kept him off television. And now next week on Monday Night Raw, we're getting the Miz versus Matt Riddle. That's the best that they could come up with for Matt Riddle? Awful. And then we saw Kathy Kelly. Kathy Kelly was backstage with Trish Stratus and Lita and Becky Lynch. Lita ended up saying that she has a shiner from the match against Damage Control from night 1 of WrestleMania. So they end up taking out Damage Control and looking ahead to their next fight. To which, next week, they will be facing Raquel Rodriguez and Liv Morgan, Becky Lynch and Lita, for the Women's Tag Team Championship. Main event, Roman Reigns and Solo Sikoa versus Cody Rhodes and Brock Lesnar. So we had Paul Heyman and Solo Sikoa and Roman Reigns. They made their way out to the ring, and then Monday Night Raw went to commercial. And then as Monday Night Raw came back from the commercial, we had Cody Rhodes and Brock Lesnar. Both guys ended up making their way out. This was Brock Lesnar's first match on Monday Night Raw since 2002 when he fought Tommy Dreamer. So Mike Rome was in the ring. And all of a sudden, Brock Lesnar lifted Cody Rhodes up. And he dropped Cody with an F5. Roman Reigns and Paul Heyman, they looked stunned. So Reigns ended up signaling to Paul Heyman and Solo Sikoa to get out of the ring. So Lesnar stood over Cody. The crowd was booing loudly at Lesnar. Lesnar then grabbed Cody, dropped him with a second F5. Lesnar then kicked Cody in the head a few times. Lesnar then looked down at Cody. He pulled him up by Cody's taped ribs. And he ended up spiking Cody on his shoulder with a German suplex. Lesnar then knocked Cody out of the ring and sent him into the barricade. Lesnar then suplexed Cody into the timekeeper's area. Lesnar then ended up going into the timekeeper's area. He ended up smashing a chair on Cody's back. Lesnar ended up grabbing the top half of the ring steps as Cody was stumbling out of the timekeeper's area. He took the ring steps. So Lesnar ended up taking the ring steps to the side of Cody's body and head. Lesnar then threw the steps into the ring. Lesnar grabbed Cody, gave him an F5 through the commentary table, and he let out a scream. Lesnar then ended up threatening Adam Pearce and other officials that ended up coming out to help Cody. Lesnar then soon got Cody into the ring, and Lesnar ended up hitting another F5 to Cody on the ring steps. Lesnar walked off, so he had officials, referees, got into the ring to check on Cody. Lesnar ended up seeing this, and he sees that Cody ended up slightly putting his arm up. So Lesnar ended up charging into the ring. Lesnar ended up grabbing a chair, and he got into the ring. Lesnar then smashed the chair on Cody's back, and he ended up hitting himself in the head with the chair. Lesnar then ended up driving the chair into Cody's throat, and he was shouting at Cody. We didn't know what Lesnar was shouting because it got censored. So Lesnar ended up throwing the chair aside, and he ended up leaving. And all of a sudden, we had Brock Lesnar end up coming back out, and Brock Lesnar ended up flipping off Cody in the ring, and pretty much that was basically how Monday Night Raw went off the air. But overall, knew this was coming. Possibly going to get Cody Rhodes and Brock Lesnar, a match with the both of them. But the tag team match, of course, did not get underway because of what Brock Lesnar did to Cody. But overall, terrible Monday Night Raw this was. This was one of the worst Monday Night Raws after WrestleMania. We haven't even had a good Raw after WrestleMania since 2017. Awful fucking show this was. And Vince had his fingerprints all over this show. Vince is back in creative. Just like I said earlier, Triple H going out there saying thank you to the staff and the people behind the scenes, the superstars, the fans, thanking everybody for liking what he did with the product. So you could tell that, Vince is going to throw Triple H out of creative. But anyways, that's it for the Monday Night Raw review. Thank you all for watching. Hope you all enjoyed this review. Give the video a thumbs up, comment, subscribe, and I will see you all on Wednesday night for Dynamite.